What's going on, guys? This is Talking Sports Podcast with Adam and Alec. This is episode 23 and the first edition of our MLB Divisional Series podcast, I guess. This week, talking about the AL East, one of the powerhouses from last year. And who better to have on than a huge Red Sox fan, a huge Boston fan in general. Played baseball with him in college for 4 years. He was my roommate the last 2 years. A phenomenal dude, Casey Sykes. Casey, go ahead and introduce yourself. Talk about what I didn't talk about.
What's up, guys? My name's Casey. Like Alex said, huge Boston fan. Met Alec freshman year, kind of figured out he was a Boston fan too, and then we just kind of linked up from there on. Roommates for 2 years, played ball for 2 years, went to the national, I guess you want to call it nationals, the World Series for our division. And left college, moved to Austin, working here now. My dad's from Boston, so that's how I kind of became a big-time Boston fan in general. But yeah, just a diehard fan. Been watching since I was a little kid, so hoping to see success soon for the Sox.
All right, Adam, since you're the Texas Ranger fan, so we'll give you the honor to start off with Baltimore, since they're kind of the bottom feeders of their division also. What do you have to say about Baltimore from last year and kind of bright spots looking for this year?
So like y'all said, last season, this was probably the best division in baseball. 4 90-win teams. The Rays going 162. The Yankees going 92-70. Boston also going 92-70. Toronto going 91-71. And then there's a huge drop-off to where Baltimore is. Baltimore going 52-110 last season. Now, anytime you lose 100 games, I mean, that's just what a waste of a season, right? I mean, that's just horrible. So, man, I don't even know where to start with Baltimore. I couldn't tell you very many prospects or anything like that they got coming up. They got some guys like Trey Mancini and guys like that who, are good players, but they just haven't been producing the last couple of years, So I don't know. I don't really know what to expect. You can only go up from here, I guess I would say. But it's really going to start with developing their farm system, getting those young guys and developing them. And then here, maybe in the next 6-7 years, if they do it right, draft right, Baltimore could be on the rise.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I'm looking at the ERAs right now. And I mean, the Orioles, they had the worst ERA in the AL at almost six runs allowed per game, which is, the next closest team is the Twins, and it's in the 4s, so they didn't even touch the 5s. So it's, it's not good. Not looking too good.
Yeah, and it looks like John Means had the lowest ERA for their starters, and it was a 3.62, which that's not even close to being competitive. If you're going to be the best pitcher on your team, you got to have lower than 3.
Yeah, the ace.
Yeah, definitely need to get some pitchers in free agency if you can. Hitting, though, they had a couple bright spots. Cedric Mullins, 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases, 291 on the average. Then you had a young guy, Ryan Mountcastle, who hit 33 home runs. He was the leader for the Orioles in that category. Do you think either one of them I guess it would be a decent year, but a good year for them? Do you think they can repeat that this year, or do you think they take a slight drop in their production?
I think he can do it again. He was pretty consistent all last year, from what I saw. Mm-hmm. Mountcastle's only 25, so I could see him hitting more tanks. Honestly, they're both pretty.
Yeah, and they're that hitter-friendly ballpark too. There's a lot of home runs that go out at Camden. I remember
I saw a thing recently. Actually, I don't know. Don't take my word for it. It was either the Yankees or the Orioles. I think it was the Orioles. I'm pretty sure that they were going to move their left field farther back.
Yeah, it was Baltimore. I saw that. I don't know when they're doing it. I don't know if it's this year or next year, but I saw that.
Too many teams just balls out on
them. Adam, what's your take about this year for Baltimore? Obviously, they're still going to be the bottom feeders. Do you think they'll bring up Adley Rutschman this year? Or you think they get him another year in the minors?
I think they'll bring him up. Maybe not till like mid-season, Let him get about half the season through the minors, and then, he'll probably be balling out there and, give him a shot. So I could see about halfway through the season. But like you said, I still expect Baltimore to be the bottom of the division. Maybe they'll get to 60 wins this year. Maybe. I don't know, but I don't see much more than that.
All right. Is that all we want to talk about Baltimore? Start moving on to the better teams, so to speak.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, the fourth place team is the Toronto Blue Jays. If I remember correctly, they were one game away from the playoffs as well. It kind of came down to that last day.
Yeah.
Casey, what's your take on Toronto?
I mean, scary for me, just because how young they are. And I mean, the only thing I think they're really missing is just a few pitchers. And I think they'll be top tier because they're hitters. I mean, with Marcus Semien gone, that's good for us. I mean, with him but I mean, Guerrero's only going to get better. Bo Bichette's only going to get better. They still got George Springer. Biggio might come along more, but there's not many weak spots that I see. And then you never know who they're going to sign once this lockout ends.
Right. Did they end up signing Kevin Gossman before the lockout?
Yeah, they did.
All right, so there's one starting pitcher.
He had a random good year last year for the Giants.
Right.
He was like so average, and then he just said, "Oh, I'm an all-star." No one like, well, how'd that happen?
Adam, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. went off last year, hit 311, 48 home runs, 111 RBIs. You think he repeats that success this year? You think it drops off a little bit, or you think he does better?
I think, if not better, at least the same, if not better. That's what I would say. I mean, that kid's a stud. He's just going to keep getting better. Probably around that 40 to 50 home run range, I would say. Again, I'd like to see him get to 50. That'd be pretty cool. But I really think this Toronto team is dangerous. As a Rangers fan, I was so hyped when we got Semien from them. So that was awesome. We'll talk about that more on the AOS preview. But losing Semien is a big piece. But you still got Bo Bichette, you still got Vlad Guerrero and all those guys. So I think, honestly, this Toronto team could go in the division. I think it's going to be really tight between those top four teams again. But I would not be shocked at all if Toronto won the division.
Yeah, I think if they add 2 or 3 pitchers, solid pitchers, I mean, they'll just be as competitive or more than they were last year.
Yeah, and Robbie Ray was their best pitcher last year. Had a 2.84 ERA. Anytime you get a starting pitcher under that 3.0 ERA, you're going to have success with him every time he goes out there. So he is a key part of why they won that many games.
And didn't Hyun-Jin Ryu, almost win Cy last year?
Yeah.
Pretty sure. You had to start that.
Oh, this happens every time, dude. All right. So, yeah, Toronto, very scary offensive team. If they get a couple of pitchers, obviously they can jump from 4th to 1st in this crazy division. Anything else you fellas want to add about Toronto before we move on?
Don't think so.
All right. So now we'll go to the New York Yankees. Finished 3rd in the division last year. Obviously, me and Casey both hate them.
Yep.
Not much.
I hate them as well.
All right. Not many nice things will be said about them on this podcast. But, they finished 3rd in the AL East. Got wrecked in the wild card game by the Red Sox. Haven't really done much in the postseason since early 2010s.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've only won one since I've been alive.
Then they win in 09.
Yeah, I think it was 09 was the last time. I mean, they constantly sign all these guys, constantly have this stacked lineup, and then constantly don't produce a World Series.
Yep. I just feel like they hardly ever just bring up anybody through their system.
Right.
trading him, and then they get somebody big, and then they play for, a 10-year millions-dollar contract, or it's just a few years and they burn out.
Right. I mean, looking at their stats last year, Aaron Judge had the highest batting average with 287. Looks like he also led them in home runs with 39. Stanton came second with 35. They made a lot of moves around the trade deadline. I believe they had Joey Gallo. They had Anthony Rizzo. And when they had Anthony Rizzo, that kind of hit a nerve, I guess, with Luke Voigt, who was having a solid year at first base. And that lineup, you only have one first baseman and one DH. And where are you going to put Stanton? Because he's a liability in right field or left field or wherever you put him at. So,
and what sucks with Stanton is he's always hurt here. And I remember last year, towards the end of the year, that dude was slumping like crazy. He could not figure out a swing. And I don't know. I just think that's a bad contract overall. Good for the Sox, but I don't think
I remember Casey. I remember when he was a free agent, we were sitting at an apartment, and it was him or JD Martinez.
Oh, yeah.
We were upset when he signed with the Yankees because we were like, crap, he's about to hit 60 on us every year.
Yeah.
And then we got JD Martinez. We were happy, but we weren't as happy as we would have been.
Yeah. But he's done.
But JD Martinez ends up being the better player out of that deal. Yeah. So,
pretty wild.
Adam, we haven't heard you say anything about the Yankees. What's your take on them last year and moving forward?
Well, it seems like just like every year, another choke in the postseason for the Yankees. The only positive thing that I could say about the Yankees is I am a Joey Gallo fan because I am a Rangers fan. I'll forever love Joey Gallo. The one problem with Joey Gallo is he's either a strikeout or dinger guy, So, and speaking of Gallo, do y'all see him talking about how he wants the shift to be changed?
Yeah, I saw something on that today, and then I saw someone else comment and said, didn't they shift on Ted Williams when he hit 406? So I'm like, you can't change it at that point. You can't.
Leave it to Casey to find that one.
Twitter. Someone did on. Oh, I'm keeping that
one. Yeah, leave it to Casey to figure out something a Yankee fan says and turn around and be in Boston. But yeah, I mean, Joey Gallo, he hits moonshots, but he also strikes out all the time. And I mean, you give what you pay for. He'll hit 50 bombs, but he'll also strike out to lead the league.
He fits in perfect.
Yankees hate podcast right here.
Corey Kluber, is he still? No, he's on the Rays.
Yeah, he's signed with the Rays, which I was going to get to here in a minute. The Rays are stacking up big.
The Rays, man. But yeah, they struck Garrett Cole.
Mm-hmm. And he had all those problems, right? With the substance, whatever.
Yeah, all that because whenever the crackdown happened, his ERA started going up and up and up.
Besides that, I really don't see any, unless they sign somebody that I'm not aware of. But for pitching, I don't see anybody crazy coming out.
Yeah. I can see him finishing fourth next year.
Yeah. Would not surprise me.
I mean, if they stay healthy a full year, then it'd be a little dangerous for everyone else. But the pitching, it's not going to win you a division title.
Yeah. Especially in that division.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say how normally, every year, it seems like their big stars are hurt. Because I'm pretty sure Judge, the last couple of years, has been struggling with hamstring injuries or something like that that's just been nagging on, and Stanton is always hurt, it seems like. So if they can keep their guys healthy, they could be up there. But like you guys said, maybe finish third, fourth, around that range, depending on what Toronto does.
I definitely don't think they'll be in line for first or second. It'll be a push for probably third if they're lucky.
So a stat that I forgot about till just now, because there's a big joke going on about on Twitter. The catcher for the Yankees, Gary Sanchez, hit 205 last year. 204 last year. And for the longest part, I'm pretty sure he was under that 200 mark.
Yeah. I just remember him like 3 years ago just hitting like 30 bombs, like 2 years straight. He had a lot of home runs and he was hyped up.
Mhm.
But I mean, if he bats that low, I know his defense sucks.
Oh,
That's all I hear
bad.
about. Red Sox fan, it's like, oh, Sanchez is catching, we're fine. But I
Yep.
mean, used to tear the cover off the ball, but I don't know. If you're batting below 200 for most of the season, not too good.
Adam, you want to talk about the Yankees a little bit before we start moving towards the best team?
You know, like I said, I don't see him doing a whole lot of making a lot of noise this season. I would like to see my man Joey Gallo do well, wish him success, but I hope the Yankees just do horribly, you know.
Yep.
Sure. All right. Second place last year was the Boston Red Sox. Playoffs looked like a wild card victory over the Yankees, an ALDS victory over the Rays. And just when it looked like we were about to win the ALCS, we ended up losing to the Astros. Casey, celebrated the 2018 World Series together.
Yep.
What was your emotions during this playoff run we had this year?
I thought we were the best team in baseball. That first 2.5 series. Those first two games, Astros, when we were hitting and our pitching was good, I was like, nobody's going to beat us. And I don't know what happened, but the way they just fell off and absolutely, it wasn't like it were close games. It was like we couldn't even hit the ball. And our pitching just fell straight off. I mean, with what we had, I think they played, it was amazing. But the way they just kind of like fell off was pretty upsetting. I thought we had a really good chance to make it all the way.
Now, I remember watching it. I don't remember which game it was, but something happened, and right then it's kind of like in my head, like that might be the turning point of the series. I can't remember what play it was.
I want to say it was in game 3 because we were up 2-0, right?
Believe so. I can look real quick.
And I think in game 3 we might have been ahead like early on, but then the Astros just went on a crazy tear, I think.
Oh, where'd it go? All right. So game 1, we lost 5-4. Game 2, we won 9-5, and then we won game 3, 12-3. Game 4 was 9-2 Houston. Game 5 was 9-1 Houston. Game 6 was 5-0 Houston. There was something in game 4 that happened. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It was here's game 4. 9-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Red Sox. Yeah. The Red Sox were up 2-1 until the top of the 8th, and the Astros scored 1, and it was a tie game. So like, all right, we have a chance. Come to the 9th inning, or 7 runs. I don't know who was pitching.
That was the point where I'm like, oh no, this isn't good.
I mean, they started Zach Greinke that game, and the dude barely bumps 90. Who did we put in?
It wasn't Sale, was it? Because I know we used him.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't him. It was Whitlock, I think.
Oh,
He gave up a home run, and then we brought Evaldi in, who was on a tear,
mm-hmm.
and I think he threw 24 pitches, 14 strikes. I think he gave up 4 runs.
Yeah, Evaldi got the loss.
And then we brought in Martin Perez, which I don't know why we ever signed, and he gave up more runs. Yeah, so that game was just gave them the momentum, and they just carried it all the way.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, okay. Don't like reliving that, but that's what it was. I remember something happened.
And and Kike went absolutely insane that series. Coach
Yeah,
Bear 100% right about that, man. I was like, yeah, it's a good signing. And he's like, no, he's the best player in baseball. I was like, all right, whatever. He comes, just goes insane. I'm just like, yep.
yeah, the dude, he went off all postseason. One of the brighter spots. Adam, what's your take? Not being a Red Sox fan, so you can't be biased, honestly. What's your take on the Red Sox this past year?
Well, I'd say for being third, I guess, well, you were really tied with New York, but I guess third in the division. Obviously beating New York in the wild card, that's always great. If I remember right, didn't y'all like win almost every game against the Yankees in the series against them during the regular season?
The first half of the season, I think we went undefeated, I think.
I remember that stat going around, but I remember y'all just totally destroyed them in, that series. But I was really disappointed, not going to lie, because I can't stand Houston. No one can stand Houston. But and obviously the way y'all started being up 2-1, it's like, okay, the Red Sox are going to win it all. And then, like y'all talked about, the fall off there towards the end of game 4. But, y'all definitely have a bright future. I feel like y'all can definitely be right back to the ALCS and have a shot to go get back to the World Series.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats from last year. Bogarts led with average of 295. Looks like Rafael Devers hit 38 bombs to lead the team. Hunter Renfroe, who we ended up trading this offseason for Jackie Bradley Jr., had 31 home runs. Casey, what's your feelings on that trade? Because I know we were both pretty big JBJ fans back then.
Yeah. So, my blank on his name. Not Jackie Bradley Jr. Hunter Renfroe. Yeah. I love that man. I mean, he was that one guy that hits like 6 or 7 that could hit 20 plus bombs. His arm was unbelievable. I think he led the league in putouts for a while. But once playoffs came around, he went dead. Like, I don't remember anything. I don't hate the trade because I like Jackie Bradley Jr. on defense because we do need some defensive help that we can put Kike back at second more. But we're going to – if we sign Schwarber back, that would be absolutely ideal because then throw him around and left, move Verdugo to right. JBJ could switch off with Kike in center. And I think it would be pretty ideal. But, yeah, basically we got to pick – I feel like we need to pick up one more outfielder so Kike doesn't have to play center that often. And Jarren Duran.
Yeah. Fast dude.
Yeah.
Very fast.
I think he's going to be very valuable.
So, Case, Chris Sale, obviously coming back from surgery last year, didn't have a full year. He should have a full year this year.
Yep.
He's the ace, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And after that, you go, what, Nate Eovaldi?
Yep.
Because we lost Erod to Detroit for
which I'm not pissed about it. I will say because his ERA was absolute trash. In the past, he's been good. He's been the number 2 or 3 guy that we can rely on. But whatever he had last year, it was pretty rough.
I don't know what's with all these big name free agents getting linked to Detroit right now. Like Correa got linked. Did Baez end up signing with him before?
I don't know. Is Correa on? Did he get signed by the Tigers?
Correa hasn't signed yet because of lockout.
The lockout's messed everything up, seems like.
There's rumors of him going to Detroit.
Yeah, I don't know what Detroit's doing. No clue. It's been so bad since it had Fielder and Martinez and
Cabrera when he was good.
Yeah.
I mean, they got young guys, but you're not going to compete the next 2 years.
Yeah. No shot.
Tanner, I always mess up. Is it Huck?
I think it's I don't know. I've heard it all different. Huck.
We'll just call him Tanner. Is he in the rotation at the beginning of the year?
I think so. I think he is the number 3 or 4 guy for sure. Because they were comparing him to Sale a little bit, like early on, like
I did see that
flashes he was showing, and I mean he pitched decently for that young of a kid.
And then you have Whitlock, who looks like the next closer for us. Had a 1.96 ERA in 46 games, all out of the bullpen. So
What happened to Matt Barnes towards the end of the season as a closer?
dude, Matty Backpacks lost it. I don't know what happened to him.
He was so good early on when he first. Who was the closer before him? I thought it was like a decent name, like
before last year?
before Barnes took over.
You talking about this year?
Oh,
Okay, so you're talking about previous season? Yeah, Kimbrel.
yeah, that's who I was trying to remember. And then
Yeah,
Barnes.
Kimbrel was the guy in 2018, and then
Yeah.
Barnes picked up after that.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited about this team. If we could, I think we have 3 guys ultimately set in the rotation. The last 2 or 3 guys, we might pick up one guy. Garrett Richards showed flashes of decent pitching, but he's more of a back end guy, I think. But pick up one guy. I haven't agent list in a while, so I don't know who's even available, but I feel like there's somebody out there that could help us out.
I don't know if I read this right, but it looked like Vasquez is a free agent, the catcher. You got to re-sign him, right? That's what I've seen. I haven't really. I don't know if it's after this year or right now.
Yeah, I have no idea, but that's definitely someone we need to sign just because his defense.
Mhm.
And he does those flashes of power. He only hit 6 last year, but the year before that, during COVID, that man was like the miniature truth, the way he was hitting home runs. I mean, let's see, in 2020 or in 2019, he hit 23 bombs. Then in that short season, in 47 games, he had another 7. So he has ability to hit, but his defense is just too good to let go.
Yeah, he's definitely been my favorite catcher since Veritek.
Yeah.
Salty's a close second, though, I feel like.
Yeah. You know what's funny is Vasquez I'm pretty sure he led the team in stolen bases last year.
You might be right.
I think because Duran didn't come up till late. And Vasquez has only 8 stolen bases.
There's no way, though. Surely
not.
stolen bases. Yeah, you're right. Vasquez 8. He got caught 4 times. Verdugo had 6. Bogey had 5. Devers had 5.
That's pretty bad, honestly. That's like one thing we lack.
So what were we thinking with Danny Santana and Marvin Gonzalez?
I don't know. I was hoping Marvin Gonzalez could kind of from what I've heard of him being on the Astros, I was like, oh, he's a solid hitter because I remember him being in their lineup. I mean, he batted .303 one year, and he hit 23 bombs, and I was like, oh, that'll be, I mean, at least 265, but I mean, this man batted .202. I don't know what was going on with him.
All right, let's wrap the Red Sox up for now. We'll come back to all the teams here in a little bit, but let's talk about the Rays real quick. They were the lone 100-game winner in the AL East, just to get bounced in the divisional round by the Red Sox. This team, they're set up for another deep run, especially after picking up
Kluber.
Who?
Kluber.
Yeah, Kluber. So, they're reloading on pitching. They have Wander Franco for a full year. I couldn't think of his name for some reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this team is going to be scary again this year. Probably another 100 wins I could see, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, Wander Franco, what, like 20?
The dude's young, yeah.
He was their number 1 prospect, right?
Yes. Yeah, he was the number 1 in baseball.
He's 20.
That's nice. He just signed an 11-year deal, so we get a deal with him for 11 years.
Yeah, what scares me about this team is how young they actually are.
But something that, I'm okay with is they don't spend money.
Yeah, which is whatever doing. I don't know who's running it, but they're doing a good job.
Yeah, because they don't spend money at all. They're always farm talent or guys on a rookie contract. I mean, looks like the leading batting average last year was Randy Arozarena with 274. Brandon, is it Lau or Lowe?
I couldn't tell you.
I always get that one mixed up. I'm pretty sure it's Lau. He led with 39 home runs. Zunino had actually a really good year without realizing he had 33 home runs behind the plate. Adam, what's your take on this Tampa Bay Rays team that,
Yeah, I think Tampa Bay is really dangerous. I could definitely see them winning the division again. Like you said, winning 100 games last season. They have to be pretty pissed and frustrated about losing in the ALDS, with the talent they had. But I definitely think they'll be back. Adding Kluber, a full season with Wander Franco. I really think they're set up, to be successful for the near future. So I could see them repeating as division winners.
Yeah, I think I worry about them more than any other team in the division, for the Red Sox at least, because I remember watching some of the guys I don't even know who they are. They're young pitchers, and they just go out there and they all bump 97 plus, and nobody can hit them. And what's his name? Tyler Glasnow, wasn't he injured most of last year with like a strained UCL? I don't know if he tore it.
Yeah, and he started off really hot too, if I remember correctly.
And he's the real deal for them. Their other guys stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
I think Brent Honeywell did really good last year too, and he's one of their young guys. I don't know.
Very, very dangerous team.
Yeah.
Very, very scary.
How about Nelson Cruz still playing?
Oh, dude.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
The dude is so old.
32 bombs last year and 40. I don't know.
I feel like they do need to get out of Tampa, though.
It's a random. They need a new. That's what they need. Their stadium.
Oh, yeah.
It's so bad.
Adam, you want to talk about Tampa anymore before we kind of give our bold predictions for each team this year?
I think I'm ready for predictions. Good.
All right. So we'll start back down at the bottom with Baltimore. Adam, what's your bold prediction for them? Could be anything, whether it calls up Rutschman, they win X amount of games. What do you have for them?
Like I said earlier, I think Rutschman gets called up mid-season. I'm saying the ceiling 60 wins for this team.
Casey, what's your bold prediction on Baltimore?
Yeah, absolutely nothing. If I was an Orioles fan, I'd be looking forward to Mullins, Mountcastle, Heaney. Those are my three guys, and then Rutschman getting called up. If I just see them progress good, I'll be happy with between 50 and 60 wins, because I know they didn't get more than that. Not in that division. Impossible.
I'll say Rutschman gets called up and Means has a better year, kind of taking the step to be the actual ace for him. I don't think he'll have a great year, but I think he'll have a good year for a pitcher in that organization. Yeah. What about the Blue Jays? If Adam, you want to start that again?
Yeah. Toronto, like we've said, is a dangerous team. And I could see them. I would not be surprised at all if they won the division. I'm not going to stretch that far yet and say that, but I could see them finishing second or third in the division, around the 95, 97 wins.
Yeah, I think I don't see 4 teams winning over 90 again. I don't think that. But I put the Blue Jays in the 3 spot. I think they can hit over 90 again, but if they don't add a little bit of more pitching, I think they'll be about the same where they are this. But if their players progress like they're supposed to, I'd be scared, because they do have the potential to be like the Rays.
I'll say they win over 90 or right at around 90. They'll get third place, and then Vladimir hits 50-plus home runs.
That dude's going to be a monster.
The dude's the real deal.
He's so good. He's the future for sure.
Yeah, it's insane how good he is. That brings up the Yankees. I think me and Casey both agree they finished fourth. But Adam, what's your prediction, like bold prediction for them?
I agree. Fourth in the division. 70 wins.
Like it. I don't think they hit 90 again.
No. Weren't they really cold at one point during the year, and they just all of a sudden started winning every game?
Yeah, it was them. Towards the end, I think they started getting on a little hot streak, and that's when they caught up. Because the Red Sox were ahead of them by, I want to say it was like games at one point, or close to 15.
It was a nice little margin, and it just evaporated real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll finish fourth, I think, and they'll probably have around 82 wins. I don't think the Yankees are anything special. We've already talked about their home run or miss, and their pitching isn't phenomenal, to be honest. And you need better pitching than that in this division.
Yeah,
their bullpen's getting older. Aroldis Chapman isn't going to be himself much longer.
Yeah,
it's kind of the beginning of the end for the Yankees, and the Yankee fans don't really want to admit that, but it's not looking good. And next is the Red Sox. Adam, we'll let you start since you're the non-Red Sox fan here.
Yeah, I definitely see y'all towards the top of the division. Honestly, Tampa Bay, Boston, and Toronto, I think we're going to be really close at the top. And I can see any of those teams winning the division. I'd say first or second for y'all. That's where I'm going. I can't make a decision yet. I don't know if y'all can get above the Rays, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened,
Yeah, I mean, if we get our bullpen a little help, add one or two more solid pitchers, I think we can win first. But, I mean, if we keep the same team, I think it's a great team. I have a hard time thinking that they can stay as consistent as the Rays are, just with so much young talent. Because we have the talent. We just need a few more pieces to be complete.
Right. I agree. I don't know if we can finish first in the division. Do I think we can beat the Rays in the playoffs? Yes. I think we finished second. A couple predictions. I got Chris Sale returning to the Cy Young caliber. And I got Rafael Devers finishing top 3 in the MVP voting this year.
I like the take. Devers is in for, I think, he's only gotten better every year. That's a thing.
Yeah. It's like, I remember 2018 was one of his first seasons, wasn't it?
I remember we were roommates his first full year in the league, and he was on a tear.
Yeah. Yeah, because we started listening to that podcast by Kravitz.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you this. I've heard things about Bogarts getting shipped out after his contract runs out, or right before.
We need to sign him. We need to extend him.
I agree. I keep seeing takes on, and these are Red Sox fans, and I think who's the guy on Twitter, Terry Cushman.
Oh, I do not like that guy, dude.
Crazy takes, but I heard him something like they need to either move him over to third or second and spend money on the Trevor Story or a big name shortstop who can field. Because they say Bogart's fielding is subpar.
It's not top caliber.
Yeah, I agree. It's not the best, but
his bat is.
Yes, exactly. 100%.
The bat makes up for it.
I think we re-sign him 100%.
It's like Stanton. The bat makes up for the field.
Yeah.
Except Bogarts is head and shoulders above Stanton.
Yep.
You got to keep Bogarts. You got to find a way to extend him. If you know you're not going to be able to extend him, then I'd rather get something in return than him just walking.
Yeah, I agree.
But
where would you put? Would you be opposed of moving him to third and putting Devers at first? Even though
Tristan Casas and Blake Daubert.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're out of options at the corners, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Do we put him at second?
Devers?
Yeah. No, not Devers. The dude has no range. We're not putting Devers at second.
Yeah.
Bogarts.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he could play second.
Because do we have any second baseman up and coming? Michael Chavis kind of fell off.
Kike can play anywhere.
That's true. He can play left if we need him.
I don't.
Go after Trevor Story. You get him, put him at short, Bogey at second.
Yep.
That whole infield hits nukes.
Yeah. And I think Cassis will take over at first. The way he's been playing in the minors.
Oh, yeah. It's moonshots.
Dalbeck might be gone after a little bit.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Jenny Martinez, his contract this year or next year? It's coming up.
I think this is his last year.
See, all these guys that we signed back in 18.
It's coming down. That team.
That's not good.
Way. I mean, Devers is the last one left from the 2013 team. Or Matt Barnes. No. Matt Barnes.
Bogey.
Yeah, he's the only one.
Yeah. And he was a rookie that year.
Yeah, he played.
He was wearing some random number.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure it's in the 80s. I don't remember, but it was a high number, weird number.
It's probably like 20, 21 years old or something.
Probably. Straight rookie, like, oh, this postseason, let me hit a nuke here and there.
Playing with Poppy, Pedroia, and all these guys, like, what's going on?
Have we talked since Pedroia retired? Did you see all his stories about Poppy?
Oh, yeah.
How David didn't know his name?
Yeah. That's just a thing.
I'm surprised y'all haven't talked about Poppy getting to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I mean, I expected it. I mean, it's like you can't not like the guy. He's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
He reminds me of Dirk Nowitzki, like his personality, like the friendliest guy, but just a great player.
Did you expect him to be the only one, though, in this class?
No, I figured that, I mean, someone else would get it. I want Schilling to get bad.
Mm-hmm.
The man I think he had over 3,000 strikeouts and he's not in the Hall.
That's insane.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. They need to figure out a better way to vote players in than what they're doing right now.
Didn't they just pass a thing where they're not doing steroid tests anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to.
You got to let Barry in now.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, boy. I forgot about that.
And then once they let all those guys in,
it's over.
Free reign.
It's over now.
NFL where if you play for a year and run for 2,000 yards, you're in.
Speaking of retirement, actually, we'll get there in a minute. Any more on Boston before we switch to the Rays? All right, so Tampa Bay, Adam, what's your bold prediction about the Rays this year?
I honestly think this team gets back to 100 wins. Probably winning the division again. Yeah, with 100 wins, you're probably going to win your division. But it's going to be fun to watch. Vlad Jr., Bo Bichette. So really, I was talking about Toronto.
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
I don't know.
My bad. I was looking at the Rays, but reading Toronto. I don't know what I was thinking there. But Wander Franco, Kluber in the offseason, I think that's going to make a big difference. I think they get back to 100 wins. That's my take.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me if they got 100 wins again. They're just young. They got all the talent. They got all the pieces. And they signed Kluber. If they stay healthy, I mean, it's going to be probably the toughest team in the division to beat.
They're such a weird team because they didn't have like the superstar. They're all just a bunch of guys that play really well together.
Mm-hmm.
So I think adding Franco or Wander Franco, obviously 100 wins. Franco, I don't really know bold prediction. He'll be an all-star this year, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I guess that's my bold prediction. There's really nothing bold you can say about the Rays because they've been so consistent lately.
What sucks is, as a Red Sox fan, I really want to hate them, but I can't.
Yeah.
Because they're not like overpowering with stars. I'm just like, you kind of root for them on the side if the Red Sox aren't playing. You're just like, I wouldn't mind them seeing them beat the Blue Jays or Yankees.
Right.
But
yeah, they're just such a random team of guys. It's weird.
Yeah.
I think that about wraps up the AL East. Any last comments about that? All right. So before we start talking about the next couple episodes, Casey, Tom Brady. I'll let you have a little minute for Tom Brady here.
Oh, Lord. Obviously, I have all my predictions laid out of my theories of what happened. First off, he has a wife and 3 kids, and his wife, I know for a fact, is like begging him to like come, be a dad full time and everything. And what else does he have left to accomplish? He's done it all. 2, I guess there was beef between Arians not letting Tom Brady over fully on what he wanted to do. Apparently, Leftwich and him would come up with a game plan on offense, and then Bruce Arians would just come in and just say, all right, now we're doing this. So I assume he didn't have full control. And another factor I think played in is with Godwin gone for the next season because of ACL and Antonio Brown, what's the point of going back to a team like that with limited weapons? Mike Evans or hurt Gronk will maybe play half the season. It's not enough to win instantly, I feel like. So I thought he was going to go somewhere else, maybe like the 49ers, but then I just saw an update like 2 days ago that he's building a house like north of Miami. So I'm just like, and then I got an update. He's starring in a comedy movie that he's producing. So I'm like,
he's really done.
Apparently he's starring in a comedy movie with 3 80-year-old woman actors. And it's about like a road trip. And those women are like fantasizing about him and like fangirls over him. That's what I've read.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty weird. I'm just hoping it's not one of those like Shaquille O'Neal movies that are just like weird. I hope it's like I don't know. He's like an okay actor. Like, oh, what is he doing now?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's upsetting. But
yeah, it's gonna be weird watching without Brady, obviously.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any football my whole life without Tom Brady. So as much as I dislike him, it will be weird.
Yeah, literally, we don't know what it's like without him. So I'm just like, what do I do now? Root for him? Yes.
Did you end up watching the Man in the Arena documentary?
Yeah. Did you watch it?
Yeah. It's pretty good.
It's some of the stories that they would tell. What I really like about Brady is he was humble about his championship. He's like, oh, the first 3 championships we won, our defense was so good. And like, I just went out there and did my job, but our defense, if we didn't have that defense, there's no telling what could happen. I feel like just humble about his victories, and he's not a piece of crap about it.
Have y'all watched the Tuck Rule 30 for 30?
I haven't gotten there yet. I was gonna end up watching probably this weekend.
It's really good.
Yeah, I have to watch it this weekend. We'll talk about it next week on the podcast. So I guess we'll talk about the upcoming podcast. So this was episode 1 of 6 for the MLB Divisional Series podcast. I guess we'll call it that. Basically, 6 division MLB, 6 episodes covering each division leading up to potentially opening day. Maybe not, depending on a lockout. They need to figure it out. So next Thursday, we will be doing the AL Central with a buddy from my work named Nate Smith. He's a Kansas City Royal fan. He's agreed to come on, so we'll have him on here next week. I don't think we've ironed out all the guests for the other 4 or other 3. I think we had 2 that you talked about.
Yeah.
Also, college basketball, March Madness is right around the corner. So on Tuesdays, once that begins, we will be doing kind of a recap of that past weekend action in college basketball. So the first Tuesday, me and Adam talked about doing an in-person recording.
Yeah.
Making our brackets. And then the following Tuesday, we'll recap rounds 1 and 2. The Tuesday after that, Sweet 16 and Elite 8. then the Final Four in the championship game the following Tuesday. So those all lead into opening day. Instead of one episode a week, we'll be bringing you two. The first one a little bit shorter, the second one normal length. Okay, so you're not really a college basketball guy. Do you have a prediction on the?
I have not. I'm going to be honest. I have not watched or looked at college basketball. All I've seen is Duke started off hot, and I don't know what happened. I just saw recently they were like the 7th or 8th seed, and then I also saw the Juwan Howard.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
That's
that was crazy.
all I've seen. Who's number one?
it's Gonzaga right now, isn't it? Because Auburn lost last week.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, Gonzaga's won. Baylor can't stay healthy. They were 13, 14 and 0, and then injuries started happening. They can't catch a break right now. Kansas looks pretty dangerous. They're finding their stride.
Kentucky's back up there again.
Yeah, Auburn
And-
looks really good. Auburn might be the move on the bracket.
Was it? This might have been last year. I have no idea. Was Arkansas? Are they ranked?
They're ranked again, yeah. Because they were really good last year. They started off decent, and then they got beat by OU early in the year.
I think
And
they
ever
have-
since,
I think
what'd you say?
I think they have the number one player in the country. I want to say.
I can't think. I wish I knew more about college basketball. I can't think of it right now. But yeah, they're solid.
I have, if y'all don't mind, one question for both of y'all that me and my buddies were talking about the other day. If you had so your team, your Red Sox and the Rangers, if you had to pick one guy on that, since you've been watching on your team, that was like a big signing, but was just a bust and that you're just like so pissed off about because he didn't succeed like you wanted him to, who would that guy be?
So a free agent signing that we were pumped about, but turned into a bust.
Yep.
I'm trying to think right now.
It took me a while to think about it the other day.
I
but
mean, there's one that comes to mind. I don't know if he was a signing. Was Pablo a signing or was he a trade?
I think he was a signing.
Pablo irritated me because he was so good with San Francisco. Then he just got too big and broke his belt and didn't do anything with Boston. That irritates me. He's the first one that come to mind.
Yeah, that's my number one, 100%.
That man irritated the crap out of me. What's your guy, Adam?
Oh man, I'm struggling here. We've been so bad for so long that it's like been worthless, but I would say one thing that disappointed me, back when we were good, when Josh Hamilton left, that was like anger. And then when he came back, everyone was so hyped, and then that was a bust. He was absolutely horrible. So thinking of bust, that's the first thing that pops in my head because he was my favorite player growing up. I can't think of any big free agents. Obviously, now we got Seager and Simeon, so they better not bust, or that will be horrible for us. But I can't think of anybody besides Josh Hamilton right now for some reason who was a bust the second time around with us.
I feel like the Rangers haven't signed anybody big time since, they were amazing in the mid 2000 or 2010 era, or whatever.
We haven't done anything until now, recently.
Yeah. Y'all got Kluber, but I think they didn't just get.
Yeah, he struggled with the injuries.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like big names y'all had. I mean,
really,
Pablo's the only one that comes to my mind.
Rusney Castillo too.
Oh,
We
yeah.
signed
Spent so much money on the guy.
I think he came from Cuba, never played in the MLB. And I think we signed him, I want to say, for 72 mil. And he had not
so much.
He never for anything. And he made it up leagues for like half a season or something. That was it.
Yeah, those are 1 and 2 right there. Because Pablo, you expect him to do so much because he was so good at San Francisco.
Yeah.
Switch hitting third baseman.
Yeah.
Just to hit like 190.
Yeah.
Played like 10 games.
Yeah. There was another guy. Oh, what's his name? I just had it and it left. It's gone out of my brain. No clue.
I'll tell you one guy I am happy we didn't re-sign was Jacoby Ellsbury.
Yeah, he never played again.
He went downhill real quick once he left the Red Sox, dude.
And then when he signed with the Yankees, I was so pissed. And then
Like,
never
he
saw
didn't
him
do nothing.
Oh,
He didn't do nothing with the Yankees.
what the heck happened to that guy?
I did think of two guys, Jerkson Profar and Leonis Martin.
I
Who's
thought
the other guy?
next dude.
Yeah, he was high in our farm system and then got up and he started off kind of well and then kind of just busted.
Yeah. How about Elvis too?
Yes,
Yeah.
Elvis. Yeah, that was
I
a
thought-
sad.
Yeah. I thought he'd be
It had to happen, you know.
Yeah.
But it was sad to see him go.
What about Matsuzaka?
I don't remember him. I remember him, but I don't like remember
Do we
him.
forgive him for we spent a lot of money, but he only had like a year or two that we were actually good with?
Yeah, he had one really good year and then one like decent one, and the rest I guess were crap. I don't remember much about after those years.
Is he with us now as like a
No, I just saw something. He retired in like wherever he was playing, Korea or Japan. He retired finally. I don't know how old that man was, but I just know
because he was old when he came over here.
Yeah, I just knew he threw like 13 pitches or something like that, something crazy.
It was insane.
But he was the real deal when he first came over.
Rougned Odor was also a bust for the Rangers.
Yeah.
How did that man hit 40? He hit like 40 tanks one year. And
Yeah.
then
He also
never-
hit Jose Bautista.
Yeah, he punched Bautista and then just fell off the face of the earth.
It's funny. My buddy was at that game when he got punched. And
That is awesome.
he tweeted Marcus Stroman on the Blue Jays. He said something like, you too short to go out there or something. And Marcus Stroman tweeted him back and said, no, I'm too busy graduating from Duke University with his diploma. I was like, dang, that is nuts.
That was our freshman year. I think we just got back from OBU playing in like a regional. And we found out about that. And everyone on the van was crazy.
Okay. Yeah.
I was sitting in my 7th grade English class when that happened. I remember getting the alert on my phone.
Really?
That was such a wild thing.
If I was a Rangers fan, I'd have that picture framed.
Oh, yes. It's amazing.
Wow. What episode, guys? Feel like covered everything really well, talked about everything. Any closing statements before we wrap it up?
Appreciate y'all for having me on.
Thanks for coming on, Casey. It was great to talk with you.
Yes, sir. It's fun.
Sure. Yeah, really appreciate you coming on. If you want to come on anytime in the future, just let me know. We're open to guests any week.
For sure.
So me and Adam will be back same place next week with Nate Smith previewing the AL Central. Other than that, we'll see y'all next week. Like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Twitter. Yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you.
See ya.